Hey everybody, I want to give an example of the family treasure excavation that I've been working on and developing for a deliverable in the career I'm working on going forward. An example of this is work I've been doing in my entire life, but with the help of my dad last night, we were having a conversation about my ADD as a boy growing up. Around the same time that I was asking to be taken off of Ritalin because of how it made me feel in my body. And my dad, when he describes this and he expresses how proud he is of me, this is around the same time that when we were going to be going to church Sunday and Wednesday, as a boy, I was just like, great, church. More church. But my dad reminded me that the church we're going to, it has Royal Rangers, and I was in that boys group at an older church when I was younger, in the Buckaroos and Straight Arrows. So when I was around 9 years old and telling my dad, I'll do what I have to do, I just don't want to take this medicine anymore, and my dad supported that choice. He describes the determination I had to focus and to come up with something better for myself. Around the same time, I went to that first meeting on Wednesday night in this group. It was just after Valentine's Day, and I was going to share with my dad. They had all this chocolate, and I came home with a bag full of chocolate, and I had Royal Rangers, which was a positive experience when I was younger. And what I did after that was focus myself into this boys group, all kind of backpacking, camping, eventually reliving history, like in the French and Indian War era, what this group had, all this mountain men, amazing things for my teenage imagination to focus on. It was amazing to get to work with my dad and connect the dots to the story, because he remembers very well me focusing, and he knows what I did in my time in this boys group and how it developed me. But it was the first time he and I got to connect on the story of the focus and determination, and how I invested myself with this group as a better option for me to direct my mind. Isn't that amazing? I love that. We had a good meal together. We're sharing stories and conversation. And why I call this family treasure excavation is because so many people, when we think about looking in the past, we're terrified because there's a lot of pain and trauma and disconnection. It's as old as time that the older generation sometimes struggles with the younger, and like, what are you doing with all this, and what are you focusing on? And it's no different. My dad grew up like this. His parents grew up like that. Every generation back, it's very difficult to look back when you feel like there's only pain. This is an example when looking back together in a safe place in conversation, the stories come out. We get to share them, and we get to raise the vibration of how we work together for better options. Doesn't working together for better options feel better than being terrified by how this world practices culture war and tearing itself apart? There's a deeper wisdom tradition that we can tap into. And I'm so excited not only to help families and individuals. When I'm successful at this, I'll be able to provide scholarships for families in certain organizations that can't afford the work, but they still need it. And with this Southern Americana, I want to take this all across Alabama. Arts councils, libraries, festivals, senior living communities all across Alabama, to help people see just how good we can be at excavating our family treasure, and the work that we can do together to make our yard safer for our children, sidewalks safer for our grandmothers to walk home at night after they visit one another. Because what are grandmas doing when they visit with one another besides talking about their families, discussing resources? How can we get what so-and-so needs? How can we resource this? This is a better way forward. Thanks for letting me share this with you guys.